Jake asking, how do you guys clean your kilts?
Clean kilts? What do you mean clean a kilt?
When they begin to stand up
Yeah.
by themselves.
Well, then you make it into a lampshade, and you get a new kilt. I have some really awesome lamps at home.
Yes. Reminds me of being a bachelor and just running out of clean socks and clean underwear and just buying more.
Yeah.
So I don't have to.
Exactly.
So I can delay laundry day.
Yeah.
Okay,
but seriously, okay.
Yes. Cleaning your kilt depends on what kind of kilt it is. If it is an acrylic or polyviscose kilt, something that's machine washable, then follow the instructions on your kilt. For our polyviscose kilts, they're actually coated with Teflon. So basically, the instructions are throw them in the washing machine. Do not use fabric softener. The fabric softener will actually strip the Teflon coating off of the fabric.
Yeah.
Then once they've gone through the wash cycle and the rinse cycle, bring them out, snap them out real good, straighten the pleats out, so that way ironing later on is going to be easier for you, and lay it out either on the back of the couch or at the foot of the bed, and just lay it out flat and open to dry out. After 6 hours, 8 hours, maybe flip it over so the inside dries real well too. That's about it for the casual or the semi-traditional. For wool kilts, you can either there are multiple ways you can clean it. Some people will say just take it to a dry cleaner. Other people will say, good God, no, dry cleaners will ruin everything. If you know and trust your dry cleaner, take it to a dry cleaner and have them just clean it. Don't have them press it, because they're probably going to charge you per pleat, and they'll probably screw up the pleating. And frankly speaking, the pleats will probably remain in it when you actually have it dry cleaned.
Yeah.
So take it to the dry cleaner and just have them just press it, or check that. Just clean it, do not press it. If you want to wet wash a kilt, that can be done. There's several products you can use. A Woolite type product. Mm-hmm. People have their favorites. Some people love Woolite, some people don't. That's up to you. You can either clean it I'll give you the bathtub way to do it. Is basically fill your bathtub with water, take your Woolite or whatever, pour some in there, take your kilt and dunk it and submerge it entirely underneath the water and kind of swish it around. If there's any little spots on there, little schmutz, try to work that off a little bit with a toothbrush or something gently. And then just kind of swish it around in there, let it sit for a little while, pick it up again, swish it around, dunk it a few more times, drain all the water out. After you've drained the water out, fill the tub back up. Again, dunk the kilt in there. Now you're trying to get the water and the Woolite out of the cloth. So you want to basically rinse it, dunk it, swish it around. If you want to rinse it twice and go through 2 cycles, great, have at it. You're just wasting water a little bit, but it's still fine. Mm-hmm. Then once you're done, kind of, snap it out a little bit, let it drip dry for a few minutes over top of the curtain rod or whatever in the bathroom. And then, actually another tip is get a couple bath towels. Lay 2 of them down on the ground, lay the kilt on top of them, open, straighten out all the pleats. Again, you're trying to make it easier to iron later on. Then put another bath towel or 2 on top of the kilt and walk on it. Just walk on the bath towel and
Really?
kind of have that absorb more of the water. Then once you've done that, or roll around on it or whatever, steamroller, I don't know. Take the kilt. Don't do a steamroller. You scope the buckles. So take the kilt once it's now just damp, no longer wet, and lay it on the back of the couch or foot of the bed. Again, straighten out the pleats. That's the key to making your job, ironing it later, easier, is straightening out the pleats while it is still damp.
Right.
Then when it dries, they will maintain that shape roughly, and then you can iron it later on. Any other tips, hints?
Not really.
Tricks?
What you've described, I know that some people say you can kind of do a similar treatment to what you described, but if you have a top-loading machine and use a gentle cycle, but I would think that you need to be confident of how well your machine is going to actually be gentle with the fabric, and you need to start and stop the cycle manually if you want to be really cautious and slow with it. So hand washing in the tub is probably the safest way, because you can move at your own pace and you can control just how much pressure and stress you're putting on the fabric.
There's Kelly, my wife has we have a front-loading machine has like a super delicate cycle where basically the drum just rotates 180 degrees every minute or whatever. So
Okay.
she actually does my kilts in the washing machine, but it just is like super, super gentle.
Okay.
So that way it's, not going to felt the wool. Is really what you're concerned about.
Now, I know this question has come up before sometimes. Is there any concern with the leather being messed up either by washing the kilt at home or by taking it to a dry cleaner? Is there any risk to the leather portions of the kilt?
A little bit. Yeah, the straps that are on the kilt. There is a little bit. Our embossed straps, the one thing I'll notice, or I have noticed, is when you wet wash a wool kilt, the embossed leather straps actually swell a little bit with the water.
Okay.
So it takes some of the embossing out. It's a little bit less of a stamp, if you will.
Okay.
It'll make them getting leather wet and then letting it. You never want to dry leather and get it like super hot in a dryer. You just lay it flat to dry. It'll get more brittle if you do that. The extreme heat, or wet to extreme heat and dry will make it brittle.
Right.
They'll be a little bit stiff, but they'll work their way back.
Okay.
So it's not great for leather, but it's not the end of the world as long as you're not putting it in the dryer.
Okay.
Is what I found anyway.
Okay.